Two-thirds of Americans claim Social Security at 62. The financial experts call this a massive mistake. But here's what they won't tell you. Sometimes claiming at 62 isn't just smart, it's the only logical choice. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly when that applies to you. Every retirement advisor, every financial blog, every so-called expert screams the same thing. Wait until 70, maximize your benefits. But here's the problem with that advice. It assumes your life fits into a perfect little spreadsheet. I will walk you through 4 specific situations where claiming at 62 could put more money in your pocket over your lifetime. Plus, I'll show you the simple math that proves waiting actually costs you money. Have you ever noticed how retirement advice always assumes you're going to live to 90? Here's what actually happens in the real world. The average American who reaches 62 lives, about 22 more years, that puts average life expectancy around 84. But, and this is crucial, that's an average. Half of people live longer, half live shorter. Now, there's a specific age where the math completely flips, where claiming early actually puts more total dollars in your pocket than waiting. If your full retirement age is 67, and it is if you were born in 1960 or later, claiming at 62 cuts your monthly benefit by about 30%. So if your full benefit would be $2,000 a month, claiming at 62 drops it to roughly $1,400. That's a significant cut. But here's where it gets interesting. The Social Security Administration designed the system so that people who live to average life expectancy get roughly the same total money regardless of when they claim. The difference is just how those dollars are spread out over time. The break-even point, where waiting actually pays off, is around age 78 to 80, depending on your specific situation. Think about that for a second. If you claim at 62 and live past 80, yes, you would have gotten more total money by waiting. But if you claim at 62 and pass away at 76, you come out ahead by tens of thousands of dollars. Now, I know this isn't comfortable to think about. Nobody wants to bet against their own longevity. But pretending you'll definitely live to 90 when your family history suggests otherwise isn't optimism, it's poor planning. And that brings me to the first situation where 62 could be your sweet spot. If you have chronic health conditions, a family history of shorter lifespans, or other factors that suggest you might not reach that break-even point, the math shifts dramatically. Maybe you've got diabetes that's been hard to control. Maybe heart disease runs in your family and you've already had a scare. Maybe you're dealing with chronic pain that's getting worse, not better. In these cases, claiming early ensures you maximize what you receive during your lifetime. That higher monthly benefit you'd get by waiting to 70? It's worthless if you don't live long enough to enjoy it. Remember, Social Security is supposed to be insurance for your retirement. If your retirement will likely be shorter, the insurance should pay out sooner. But health isn't the only factor. There's another situation that catches a lot of married couples off guard. Here's something most people don't realize. Your spouse cannot collect spousal benefits until you file for your own retirement benefits first. Let's say you're 62 with a solid work history, and your spouse is also 62, but worked part-time most of their life. If you wait until 70 to maximize your benefit, your spouse waits 8 additional years to begin receiving any spousal benefits. Spousal benefits can be up to 50% of your full retirement benefit. For many households, that's substantial money, potentially $800 to $1,200 a month that you're giving up for 8 years. So yes, your individual check will be larger at 70, but your household's total income might actually be higher if you file earlier and unlock those spousal benefits. This is especially important when there's a big difference in earnings between spouses. You're not optimizing for one person, you're optimizing for your family's total financial picture. Now here's a situation that might surprise you. This one seems backwards at first. Why would someone with substantial retirement savings claim Social Security early? Shouldn't they be the ones who can afford to wait? Here's how it works. When you have significant assets invested in the market, every dollar you withdraw to cover living expenses is a dollar that's no longer growing for your future. If you claim Social Security early and use those payments to cover some expenses, you can withdraw less from your portfolio. Your investments get more time to compound. In some scenarios, the additional growth on your portfolio over 8 years exceeds the benefit you'd gain from waiting on Social Security. Plus, this strategy protects you from what financial planners call sequence of returns risk. If the market crashes early in your retirement while you're making big withdrawals, the damage can be permanent. Having Social Security as a baseline reduces how much you need to pull from investments during volatile periods. Now, this isn't right for everyone. The math depends on your specific situation, but for some people with substantial assets who've truly stopped working, claiming early and letting investments ride is actually the better outcome. But there's one more situation that's becoming increasingly common. Sometimes life doesn't follow the plan. You intended to work until 65 or 67, but your body had other ideas. Maybe you spent decades in construction, and by 62, your knees are shot. Maybe you're a nurse whose back won't cooperate anymore. Maybe you were laid off at 61, and despite months of searching, nobody will hire someone your age for the salary you need. Age discrimination in hiring is illegal, but extremely difficult to prove. The practical reality is that many workers in their early 60s struggle to find comparable employment after job loss. If you genuinely can't work and don't have enough saved to bridge the gap, Social Security is there for exactly this purpose. It's supposed to be a safety net. Using it when you need it isn't failure. It's the system working as intended. The key is making sure you've explored all options first. Can you do different work? Something less physically demanding? Can you draw from savings for a year while continuing to look? If you've genuinely exhausted the alternatives, then claiming early is the right move. Don't let financial shame prevent you from using a benefit you've paid into for decades. Now, let me be crystal clear about when you should absolutely not file at 62. If you're still working with substantial income, filing early is usually a mistake. In 2024, if you earn more than about $22,000 while collecting benefits before full retirement age, Social Security withholds $1 for every $2 you earn above that limit. You're taking a permanent 30% cut in benefits and then having payments withheld anyway. It makes no financial sense. If Social Security will be your primary or only income source, you should strongly consider waiting as long as possible. When Social Security is your main income, every dollar matters enormously. If you have longevity in your family and you're in excellent health, the math usually favors waiting. If your parents lived into their 90s, if you exercise regularly, if you don't have significant health issues, you're statistically likely to live past that break-even point. So how do you actually decide? Here's your framework. First, understand your numbers. Log into your Social Security account and look at your benefit estimates at 62, 67, and 70. Know the actual dollar amounts you're working with. Second, assess your health realistically. Look at your family history. Talk to your doctor about life expectancy. Use that information in your planning. Third, if you're married, optimize for your household, not just yourself. Sometimes the higher earner should delay while the lower earner claims early. Sometimes it's the opposite. Fourth, consider your other income sources. Do you have a pension? Significant retirement savings? Is Social Security the foundation of your retirement or just a supplement? If this feels overwhelming, consider working with a fee-only financial planner. A few $100s for professional analysis could be worth tens of thousands in lifetime benefits. Look, the average retirement age in America is 62, not 67, not 70. 2/3 of people claim before full retirement age. Some are making mistakes, but many are making the right choice for their circumstances. Social Security is personal. The decision to claim is personal. Don't let anyone make you feel foolish for considering early filing. And don't let anyone pressure you into waiting when it doesn't fit your life. The best financial decisions aren't the ones that look good on a spreadsheet. They're the ones that account for who you actually are, how long you'll actually live, and what you actually need. If this helped clarify your thinking, hit that like button and subscribe for more straight talk retirement advice. Leave a comment below and tell me, are you leaning toward claiming early or waiting? I read every comment and often reply personally. And if you know someone who's wrestling with this same decision, share this video with them. Sometimes the biggest gift you can give someone is helping them make an informed choice about their financial future. Because sometimes the biggest mistake isn't when you claim, it's what you don't know about how the system actually works.